Actually, so Charlie, we're actually it's been a very long introduction into the piece that we're actually here to play.
Yes, I'll say.
Of course, it's the Mahler 5 that you have a long association with. It starts with this big trumpet solo, and I kind of remember that. Were you the first guy, either in Chicago or in the States, who played this? I mean, you played it before Bud did it.
There you go. Wow, there's your first.
Yeah.
It was scheduled at Northwestern my sophomore year.
Okay, and this was before he had played it with the Chicago Symphony.
Chicago Symphony had never played it.
Okay.
Never played it. In fact, it was not a pop. Mahler was not popular except for number 1 and number 4. And that was it. Nobody did Mahler symphonies. You were crazy if you did.
Yeah, so you played the solo.
I played the whole thing. I actually have a tape of it. And so I was, let's see, it was before I started lyric opera. I was 19. It was the end of my sophomore year.
Yeah.
And then next fall I started with the opera. And there was an older guy who had been playing first in one of the Tokyo orchestras. And he came back to school.
Yeah.
Actually, he was told by Martinon that you'll be our new fourth trumpet. He packed up his wife and kid, left his orchestra there, came back to school, played in lyric opera, waited around for the audition. Yeah. Herseth and Chikowitz didn't like him, and he wasn't even told about it. Wow. So he quit the trumpet, and he had been playing in lyric opera. He split the first book the year before. Yeah. That's how I got the job in lyric opera. Wow. Bill Bryan.
Okay.
Still alive. He plays like maybe in Scottsdale. Somebody who's just freelances around. He's older than I am. But he was really a great player. Yeah. And so it was supposed to be between the two of us to play that Mahler 5. And I did the first rehearsal, and he never, ever played it. Even when I went on tour and was gone for 2 weeks, he never played it. I don't understand that. Yeah. But anyway, it was the kind of thing I could do because I was very accurate when I was a kid. I was a real clean player, and the Northwestern Orchestra was not strong in strings. So the brass was always too loud. Yeah. Not me. I was always a light, delicate player until I learned how to play loud. In the Chicago Symphony.
Yeah, of course. And of course, I mean, can you tell me a little bit how you sort of guided Bud?
I tried to help him, with that. In fact, there's a really embarrassing story. So I'm enjoying the rehearsals because, man, I know this. I'd never played a Brahms Symphony or Beethoven Symphony when I got the Chicago Symphony. Never. Neither one. Okay. But I knew. Oh, you knew. I knew Wozzeck. Yeah. You knew and I knew Mahler 5. Yeah. So we're in the rehearsal, and everything's normal.
And this was the first time that Bud played it.
That's right. It? Yeah. Right. Okay. And so the very first time we get to the scherzo movement, and let's see. Feels like caca. But that little solo, and so after we played that movement, we were going downstairs. I'm a little kid, you were
like 22.
Yeah, I was really young kid. Yeah, 22, 23 maybe, 22. And so on the way down, I said, Bud, that was really great. That's just the way I play it. and he just looked at me, and it dawned on me how that came out. The rest of the way down the stairs, it's too late,
Oh, that
is the way I play it. Yeah,
that is too funny.
No, he played that piece great. He really did, and it's a trumpet player's piece. It is that and horn too. I mean, it's great. So that's Mahler 5. Here we are in Oak Park, and when I was in high school, I had the opportunity to study with Adolf Herseth, and that meant basically 4-hour trip from Peoria, Illinois, with trains, buses, elevated trains, and then walking about a mile to get to his house in Oak Park. And since we're in Oak Park right now at Ron Pince's, dropping off a piccolo trumpet, we're going to drive right to the house that Bud Herseth lived in. And it's just a block away up here. And I had lessons, maybe about 5 or 6 lessons that summer. And first thing he told me to do, he had me play sight read a piece. And I did it, and he said, well, you didn't do any of the articulations. And I thought, big deal. What's that? I got the right notes, didn't I? And then I had to transpose, He said, they're equally important as the notes. That was very important line. And so we are coming up to the home that he lived in until he retired. And it was 1044, and that is the house, right there. He lived with Avis and 3 kids. 2 boys were the oldest, Steve and Charlie, and then Cindy was the younger daughter. Charlie was my age, and he lived there all the time. His basement was all decked out so he could practice. He had all of his trumpets. I couldn't tell you how many trumpets were there. That's where he practiced. For all the years he played Chicago Symphony, he practiced in the basement there, and Avis was up there cooking, or he'd come up and cook and drink martinis and whatever they wanted. And that was the home of the very famous, great trumpet player, Bud Herseth.
I was thinking, okay, I can edit this, but but what I was thinking was
the whole thing, right? Everything was said today. Okay.
But I don't know if you know that I actually started. I started on the trumpet when I was 10, and then when I was 13, I switched to the trombone.
For God's sakes, why?
Yeah, well, I'm sort of want to get back into trumpeter again. So I was wondering.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, do you mind if we work on just the opening a little bit?
Sure. That's a cornet. That would not be allowed,
Okay, but and
it's a nice looking instrument.
This is a B flat. So the sound might be a little bit bigger than
yours. Might be a little lower too.
Yeah.
You'd have to use 2 and 3.
2 and 3. So let's see if I can do this.
You put your lips around or inside?
No, I kind of try to
put them together.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
I've heard though when you play the trumpet, one of you gotta have a good bite, right? Like.
No.
Really? No. For the teeth?
No.
Okay.
No, I've never done that. I mean, the tone might sound like it's biting.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's it. I haven't warmed up though.
Well,
yeah.
Nice vibrato.
Is there anything you would like to tell me? Could you get, because a lot of people are going to be interested in how you teach, and maybe you can give me some insight.
Okay, now let's say that was good, really good.
Okay.
We're not going to say
what
that.
do you mean?
You got the right notes.
Yeah.
But, okay, you did the classic thing that I just told you a little while ago about the ending of ballerina.
Okay.
Here's what you sounded.
So I went sharp.
Because tonguing makes us go down a little bit. So you would have to push that 3rd slide out, which is not movable.
Well, I can. Yeah. Okay. While you're playing.
No, only on that note.
Wow.
Now I don't make that kind of adjustment. Like you really did it.
Need to.
Perfectly wrong.
I can hear it.
You're lipping it now.
I'm lipping it.
But you can hear it, can't you? So the interesting thing here is that those first notes are not the right pitch. But since it's the first thing we hear, that sets the pitch.
Yeah.
Your 4th note is the right pitch when it's sustained. It's the tonguing that's making it go down.
Okay.
So you would bring your slide in a little bit.
Okay.
And for the C trumpet player that's playing on a D flat.
So what do I need to do here with
Lip it down when you get to the 4th one. Don't change the tongue. Yeah. So we arch our tongue. Do you know we arch our tongue?
Yeah, I can feel it doing it.
And so when we are actually articulating,
Yeah.
it changes the position of the back of the tongue, which affects the pitch.
Huh.
So when we're just
Interesting,
sustaining, I can raise that tongue like mad. But then when I go to tongue it, it's going to naturally go up. As soon as I start tonguing, it's going to push the pitch down.
I'm not sure I can get that note. I mean, my problem playing the Mahler 5.
Legs together.
Yeah, but it's when I do that. That's a hard one.
It's very good. That's better than I did on trombone. I studied trombone.
I have a little trouble getting. You did start the trombone, you did?
With Chris Foley.
Is that right?
That's right.
And you had an actual trombone?
Wow,
okay.
I was a music ed major.
Oh, okay.
But not even a double. I got a music ed degree in 4 years. I did student teaching, did all that stuff.
Okay.
And at Northwestern, you had to take 6 terms of one instrument each time.
Okay.
So I studied the flute, studied with Wally Kujala, who was the piccolo player in Chicago Symphony. And I did well on the flute, studied the bass, Warren Benfield, a very famous, all these bass players here at the school know of Warren Benfield. Fred Hemke, I studied saxophone, and he just retired. He's like, was one of the big, okay? And I studied trombone with Chris Foley.
Wow.
I studied, what was the other, I did horn with the...
Farkas, maybe?
No, he had already left.
Oh, okay.
So when I was in school, it was before Clevenger showed up. And after Farkas left, there was a year or two where there was an acting principal. Frank Brouk might have played principal from the section. And a couple of people, funny stories about people that came in and auditioned, because in those days it was not an advertised audition.
No, you kind of,
Yeah, and so I studied with a guy that was doing a little trial, and he was co-principal in the Met, Clarendon Van Norman, and he's a well-known guy. And so he was invited to come in, people knew of him, and so he was just, no audition, he was just invited to play with the orchestra. And that's what I studied with during that first quarter of those lessons, and he spent every lesson putting down the brass section. And I finally figured out why. He knew he wasn't going to get the job.
Okay.
It wasn't going to work out.
Yeah.
So what other instrument I did? Oh, I did tuba, but it wasn't Jacobs. It's very easy. You could put your nose in there and vibrate.
I know, yeah. Well, I mean,
I think some people do.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. So, you know, I play trombone, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But I'm kind of, it feels like I've sort of figured it out.
You should. The trombone or the trumpet?
No, the trombone. So I'm kind of thinking, should I go for this or?
Thomas.
Yeah.
You'll make more money, get more solos, more stand-up bows, and maybe you can't get a prettier girlfriend. Your wife's beautiful.
She's beautiful.
But if you play the trumpet.
So you think I should? This is something I should.
Well, that's a cornet, but
but if I get a trumpet.
Look at that.
It used to be able to be removable, actually.
For A and B flat. I could see that.
Oh, maybe so.
That's a Schilke brace.
Yeah, this has been put on.
So that's been added. Yeah. So they used to actually just put this in, take out, put in a longer when it was in A.
Wow.
And then they would pull this out maybe a little bit.
Wow. Okay.
And so the transition from A to B flat was really, really quick. But then they got tired of doing that, so trumpet players, cornet players started transposing. Clarinet players never got the idea. They got to switch, and theirs is not a quick fix.
Yeah.
But the whole purpose for the A-B flat was to have easy speed in a key that had a lot of sharps or flats.
Yeah.
So you just transpose down a half step and you're in C. That was the whole idea.
Yeah, cool.
So all those dudes. Yeah. So what were we talking about?
No, I'm thinking about taking your advice then. I mean, maybe just quit the trombone and, maybe there are some, I know there are some openings in orchestras, like trumpet openings coming up.
Yeah,
so maybe
and I can give you a few, real good pointers.
Okay.
Make sure you got to dress well. Yeah. Short hair. Now, there's a couple myths about being a lead trumpet player, first trumpet player. Yeah. One, I tried them both. One of them was you should be not only overweight, but really a big gut.
Oh, okay. I need to work on that.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Now, the other one I think does work. I haven't proven it yet, but it's having a beard or a mustache.
Okay, so I'm lacking, but that's something I can work on.
Yeah, no, I was going to, once I realized that it didn't help me,
okay,
I was going to shave that off, but my family, my daughter and my wife both said they'd leave me.
Okay,
So they've never seen me without it. So I'm not sure. Those are myths.
Yeah, those are myths. Okay, cool. But I might,
Well, you sound good.
I'll keep working on it.
We'll talk about the tone later.
We'll talk about the tone later. So anyway, returning to...
I had no idea.
Returning to Mahler 5, the thing is, we talked about this. You think that, that it really should... The way Mahler envisioned it, obviously right now it's the trumpet solo. The whole symphony starts with a big trumpet solo, and you have a whole orchestra sitting there doing nothing. Why not utilize it? And then I know that you've done some research on your
I
own.
found out there's an introduction
There's an introduction, and it was
on
actually
the other edition.
in the manuscript you found was.
It was in the Northwestern Library.
Yeah.
By a donation by his wife years later.
Alma Mahler.
Alma,
Yeah,
that's
Alma.
exactly.
And these were manuscripts that were found this is kind of fun. It was in their outhouse in mine. What was the name of that? He had this little composing hut.
The Halton House.
Yeah, not the Holton House, but the Meyernig. That's where he went in the summers and composed. And there was an outhouse there, and they found Alma after.
Many manuscripts.
Yeah.
It's just like Bach. All of his cantatas, well, many of them were lost because they were used as toilet paper.
Is that right?
That's what I've heard.
Yeah. But anyway, we're so lucky then that we found that you found in your research in this pile of manuscript the original version of the Mahler 5.
Introduction by trombone, and then there's a lot more notes added, some rhythms, and different tonalities right in that whole opening. It's amazing.
Yeah, I don't know how that could be
Very
lost.
strong.
It sure enhances the whole piece.
Well, I think if we never put it to the test, I think we'd probably see why it's lost.
You think so? Should we try it?
Let's try it.
Let's try. Hey guys, okay, let's try it.
All right, good.